Okay, I'm gonna pause for room tone.
Welcome to RCR Podcast number 42, Glenlivet Let Die. I am Nick.
I'm Brian.
And as per usual with our refined format, I guess, we are just going to chat with the super chat off because we want to be able to have a conversation, I guess. But please continue chatting away and, you know, whatever. And then after this, we're going to take a very brief break, come back again, and start answering your questions in the super chat. It'll be a good time for everybody. It's going to be a good thing. My
energy is really low today, and I don't know why. I ate 6 eggs. I had 3 eggs for breakfast. I didn't have lunch, and I ate the rest of the eggs in the carton, and I have a pain in my chest. I don't know what's up with this. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe it's not the eggs at all. Maybe it's just so humidity. The air conditioner is going, the fan is on here, and it's still about 80 degrees in my apartment.
Yeah.
So, hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow. Or maybe I'll feel better once I get booze in me. I'm drinking coffee right now. Nothing's happening. I'm slightly worried because it's like I can't catch my breath. And that was what Kevin Smith said on the podcast, on Joe Rogan, when he said what it felt like to have a mild heart attack, and that it felt like he couldn't catch his breath and had to lie down. And they put that thing inside his artery that
the stent.
Yeah, and it opened up and it felt like he went now I can take full breaths. I think I eat healthy. I eat steamed vegetables and rice, and I do kind of fry all my meats in vegetable oil.
Yeah.
But I run 4 miles like almost every day, and I don't understand this.
Yeah, I mean,
what is my favorite strong bad email? My strong bad email is sweet putt-and cakes when they go to the miniature golf course.
I mean, part of my thing is like I'm always worried about, oh my God, am I having a heart attack, like that type of thing, and that's what caused me to start. Well, I mean, I went to the doctor. They were like, well, okay, it's probably not your heart, but, you know, your cholesterol's high for your age. So that's when I started the whole diet thing. And now, I don't know, like the chest pain that I had before was kind of going away. But then I had already been diagnosed with, before this, costochondritis, which is like an inflammation of like it's very long, like mumbo jumbo about like why your chest hurts. And, you know, for some people it goes away and all that other stuff. And I don't know, like, I'm a hypochondriac, so I can't allow myself to think that way because I realize stress makes it worse. But also, you know, trusting your body enough to know the difference between something that's serious and something that isn't, because, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. But I really wouldn't worry. Okay. Like, it's just one, I mean, it's, if you feel like this again tomorrow, I don't know, I'm sure there are urgent cares around.
Urgent care, we're gonna fake getting sick to get Oxycontin and crap like that.
Yeah.
There was an urgent care that opened 1 block from here, and it was so shady.
How so?
Like, it was dirty. It opened like in an old hair salon. And my landlord said the second that place opened, a lot of shady cars were parking on the street that no one ever saw before. And that was when that one kid hit my neighbor's car. He backed into it. Like, did I ever tell you this story?
Yeah, that he had a thing for the daughter. And then
this is a different story.
Oh, all right. No,
this was like the day I got the MR2.
Oh, ooh.
This is a while ago. So it was the day I came home with my AW11, and I parked it on the street, looking at it. I'm so glad he didn't hit my car. He hit frickin' Michelle's, but this one like beat up Cavalier or Hyundai Elantra, Kia something maybe, pulls up. This kid leans out the window and said, "Hey, do you know how to get to Bloomsburg?" No, I guess maybe he wasn't going to that urgent care, but my landlord thought he was going to the urgent care or not, but I don't know why he was asking to go to Bloomsburg. And he was on a street that was nowhere near, like if you're going up to Bloomsburg, you're staying on like 209 or something. So I wasn't exactly sure how to get him back on 78. I should have just told him to take a right at the light and go out to 61 and just head north that way. Go up to 81, you'll be fine. But I said, he stopped in the middle of the street, and although it was a side street, I said, you know what, just back up and park, and then we'll figure this out. This kid backs up, and he backs up on an angle and sideswipes 2 cars.
Damn.
Because he was like looking in his mirrors and not head checking with his head.
Yeah.
So then I looked at him and said, if you run, I'm calling the cops. I walked around and just mentally made note of the license plate.
Yeah.
Cut to the end of the story. Officer and now Chief Corey, officer then and now Chief Corey, shows up, and it turns out this kid only had his license for like a few days. It's his sister's car, but there's no insurance, no registration on it. It's like she just bought it. The plate doesn't belong to the car. So I guess she probably just bought this car in a private sale, had it like in their yard. The kid was from Reading, had it in the yard or on the street or something like that. Actually, no, wait. If you park, even if you park on the street in Reading, your car has to be registered, insured, and everything. So it's probably in like
nowhere in this county that you can get away.
So it was probably like in a back lot or something like that.
Yeah,
parked backwards so no one could see that there's no plate on it. They probably found a plate, put on it, and then we're going to Bloomsburg for some reason. Their phone, like, they didn't have smartphones, or they did, but they didn't have service, and what they did is they had just a whole bunch of screenshots from Google Maps to get there. You know, these sort of stories where nothing about it makes sense. It's not a thought out plan. And now he sideswiped Michelle's car. She starts freaking out because that's like her only car. He gives Chief Corey gives the kid a citation. The kid's freaking out, trying to find out if he can maybe get a loan to pay for her car. And I'm like, you have no collateral. You can't get a loan from the bank over there now. So he thought he was going to jail. I mean, he's not going to jail. He had a friend with him, and the friend asked the police officer, "Can you take me?" Because like Officer Corey said, "Well, you're not driving this car back to Reading.
Yeah,
this car, there's a wrecker coming from this car. They're going to call a wrecker, and this car is going to get impounded." And because it's a dirty car, like there's no registration, there's no insurance on it. Like,
you don't know how they got that car.
No. So the kid asks Officer Corey, "Can I get a ride home?" And he said, "No, you're 18. Stick out your thumb. You're an adult now. Find your own way back to Reading."
Oh, jeez.
So Michelle's boyfriend gives these 2 kids a ride home. I thought about doing it, and I'm like, the thing is, in my head, if I didn't tell him to back up, if I told him, yeah, Bloomsburg's that way, I would have saved Michelle's car from getting all scratched up. Turns out she paid like $2,000 to have a freaking Maxima, complete bodywork, to have a freaking like 05 Maxima redone, a car that's worth $5,000.
Does she love the car? Or something?
Guess so. It's like that is
too
much good money after bad.
Yeah,
and they did a good job, but both my landlord and I were looking at the car, and I'm like, we both have, like, I can put rubbing compound and get most of that off, and the rest of it you just do a touch-up paint and just live with having a few gashes on your car, paint over them with the little brush, so they don't rust, and just live with that. But no, she wanted to have that car looking nice, which like dailies, like, I guess that's the one thing about being in the cars, is that you have your daily, you'll wash it, you'll vacuum it out, But apart from that, you don't throw money at it. Is it running? Yeah. Like we were talking just before. My car is consistently throwing evap codes. Check engine light. Do I care? Not one bit.
Yeah, and I never get them, but then I got one.
You got like a misfire code.
I got a misfire code.
I'm thinking it's spark plugs or something. If they've never been changed, you never changed them since you got the car.
No.
What? Spark plugs for a 04 Mustang are like, you got 6 spark plugs. They probably cost $4 a piece.
Yeah.
4 times 6 is...
6... No.
24? 6 times 4, $24.
Yeah. Oh, man. Liberal arts
you can
major. I suck at math.
Honestly, you just go to AutoZone and say, hey, I need 6 spark plugs for a 04 Mustang V6. Let me know. We'll go out to the garage and just change them out.
Yeah. But, yeah, a lot of it is kind of about wanting to... Because I think if there's a certain amount of nostalgia tied to the car, then you're obviously going to put a lot more money into it to keep it on the road. Yeah. And I guess that's part of some of the thing that we get when we review somebody's daily that's somehow been alive since 1996, and somehow it looks good. Yeah, even though a 1996 car, like, how much are you really gonna put into it to keep it on the road? But it's like it was a daily then. Yeah, much less now.
Popping up on the Reading Craigslist right now today, popped up like a 89 Oldsmobile 88 with like 42,000 miles on
wow
it. Estate sale.
I was on there yesterday. It was there was a Plymouth Belvedere on there. I think. It was kind of strange seeing it on there, and I'm thinking, what's the catch?
Yeah,
I can't remember the price offhand, but it was definitely into the 5 figures at least. It's neat to kind of look around there. The problem with like the Reading Craigslist for cars is that you get a lot of junkers and a lot of things that are you look at the picture and you're being like taken for a ride.
It's got one picture and the price is too good.
Yeah, exactly that. And you're just going to be like just emptying out your wallet to get this thing on the road so that you can go go to the title place and get the whole thing registered in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of but I don't know. Yeah, pick up anyone this week?
Oh, excuse me. Sorry for people listening, get to hear me yawn. Yeah, I picked up 2 kids in Schuylkill Haven. They wanted to go to the Walmart in St. Clair. One sounded like an exchange student, and the other they looked like they ran track, and they were talking about practice or something like that. They complimented me on having a nice car. Like, I guess they were just saying something nice.
Yeah.
One lady at the grocery store complimented me on my bucket hat. She said, "That's a nice hat. That's a nice hat.
A nice hat."
I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And then I wanted to have a full day of driving Lyft, so I drove to Hershey.
Oh wow!
Thinking all the way to Hershey to drive Lyft. Ended up only picking up one person.
Huh?
And it was a lady from like Women's Health Center or something. She talked a lot. She told me that her daughter just got accepted to the Milton Hershey School. Now, from what I understand, the Milton Hershey School is a private boarding school, but it also caters to like at-risk youth.
Yeah, it's kind of because it started out as a kind of orphanage.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, Milton Hershey was a big philanthropist and basically caused the entire town of Hershey to exist by creating that factory in the first place. And then they decided, well, there's a factory here. We might as well build a town around it. So they put a place where we can do sports. And now here's a place where we can, whatever. But long story short is that was more of like his wife's thing, in a way. She kind of basically, he was supposed to be on the Titanic, but he needed to get home sooner than the Titanic was leaving, so he took a different boat. And then when they got back, basically there was I forget exactly what happened, but long story short, they built a school. And so now there's a school, but like also it's an orphanage, and it's like Madeline from the children's story with the little French girls.
Yeah.
We love our bread, we love our butter, but most of all, we love each other.
Never saw it.
Oh, it's great. Okay. I mean, well, I don't know. It's Madeline. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she said her daughter got accepted to Milton Hershey School. She told me, it sucks not having a car. I'll get my car back next year. Which I'm wondering if this is just another DUI something. And she said, hey, can we make a stop along the way to wherever she needed to go back to wherever her house was. Yeah. So we had to make a stop, go get cigarettes from Turkey Hill. She said, mind if I smoke in here? I said, yes, I do. Please don't. She says, okay. Yeah. And I took her back. It was like a $5 ride. So I broke even for that ride. I burned up $10 in gas to make $16.
Yeah. Which after taxes is like 12.
I filled my tank. That's what I did for nothing. Yeah. So I got $10 worth in gas.
I mean, that's more than I accomplish. I drive places for no reason, just because I think my anxiety is to a point where driving is the only thing that doesn't make me anxious anymore. Really? Like, it's the one thing that I can do where I am completely at peace, which is funny because normally in any other situation where something goes wrong, my immediate reaction is that my body just tenses all over and I have a panic attack. Or even sometimes when I'm like not doing anything, I'll have a panic attack. But like the long story short of it is that when I'm driving, like something could happen on the road and I would never have that. Like if when I got pulled over, I didn't have a panic attack at all. Like I'm in my car, I'm safe, everything's fine.
Okay.
You know, or when I was caught in in that storm the other day and the check engine light came on, it's like, well, okay, but hey, is anything happening now? It's like, well, no, I'm in my car, everything's great. And so much of me being like okay is built around having a car and being able to just go. Yeah. And so I'm driving and I'm listening to the Case File podcast, which is just a true crime podcast narrated by this Australian guy called The Anonymous Host.
Yeah.
But it's written by somebody else, but it's an amazing podcast, and I was listening to it on the way here, and it's weird because I feel that sense of strange guilt about gleaning entertainment from someone else's misfortune. It's like the opposite of Schadenfreude, but it's empathy. Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's basically like you're able to empathize with the fact that these are people who have suffered in some small or large measure because some of these cases don't have anything to do with murder. Some of them, you know, it's an attempted murder. Sometimes, you know, nothing. But basically, it's just, I like, one of my favorite things the past like 2 weeks is driving home at night from here and just I'm listening to Case File, and it's fantastic because the road is so quiet and you just hear the voice, and you know, it's just you alone, and you know, sometimes your thoughts, but mostly I don't like having my thoughts to myself, so I look to find things that take my thoughts away from me. Like an ice cream scoop or a melon ball, or just
I like that. I get that on the bike because there's only one thing to focus on, not dying. So I think, man, it's like I feel so tired. The thoughts are all stumbling and moving around each other. None of them want to take center stage, like a bunch of middle school kids at a dance. I started writing more like future reviews and my DR650 review. Sorry for the yawns. I need a cup of coffee or maybe some. I bought a watermelon thinking that would do something. Yeah, I'm gonna get another cup of coffee and then eat some more watermelon. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, let's go with Nick and you. Okay, so basically, I found the YouTube channel. Well, I didn't find it. Brian introduced it to me down the rabbit hole, which is a great YouTube channel that kind of it explores mysteries of the internet, and it's a fantastic YouTube series and channel. By name, my guy called Frederick Knudsen, but definitely check it out. He did this amazing story on something called the Final Fantasy House, which happened at Penn State, of all places, like my alma mater, in State College, but it was 3 years before I actually went there. And it was this weird story about these two women who felt they were soul bonded to Final Fantasy characters and went out of their way to find other people who they believed were soul bonded to Final Fantasy characters, and then essentially brainwashing them into serving them somehow. It was incredibly weird. It's just, I don't know. It's the strangest thing, but I feel like forceful personalities kind of impose their will on those who want to be imposed upon, like in a manner of speaking, which the manner of speaking is basically that sometimes you just want someone to tell you what to do so you don't have to think about it, especially when you're in college age, where like suddenly some people are overwhelmed by the amount of freedom they have in college. So, you know, maybe you just want someone to say, hey, just give me the freedom not to have to think about what comes next. So yeah. Yes. But anyway, yeah. Mr. Regular is peeing right now, and so we are trying to think. Like, the weird thing is not a lot happened with me this week. I mean, what is there for me to really talk about other than my sick Golden Girls Queen shirt? Yeah. But it's also, I don't know. I'm sure in my mind I wanted to talk about something, but God only knows I'm not really a great conversationalist. I mean, I guess this Monday's review, I should probably give a heads up that this is kind of a literary one. So, you know, if you're big into literary theory, and even if you're not, I don't know, maybe you'll learn something this Monday. And if not, whatever. But we are in the dog days of summer as they barrel down upon us.
100% humidity.
Yep.
I'm really hoping that's why I'm so listless.
Yeah. Ooh, good word.
I feel like, a ship with no direction. Maybe it's that because I feel sort of the same way I felt the first few days in New Zealand, and also when we were in Bradenton, Florida, where it's just, ugh. And even though June, I couldn't think.
Yeah, it's hard to get your thoughts in order when you're overwhelmed with just the humidity. And the fact that the way I describe it is that because I'm set up with a similar box fan situation instead of central air or anything, and so it's the knowledge that when you're outside, knowing that going home, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
It's an exhausting feeling. I go to the pool with my nephew, like the community pool. Like I have a pool pass with him. And even the ducks from like the museum wander over and get in the pool. And
really?
Yeah, and they let them. They're just like, whatever, the ducks are here. It's like we're just chilling with ducks now. And it's always 5 ducks, just 5. And there's like the mama duck, I assume, because she's the biggest. And then, 4 smaller ducks, but I wouldn't call them babies.
Yeah.
But they're just all in the pool. They get around, they do their swimming, then they get out onto the little like grading area, like the sluice, whatever it's called, and barrier. And then they're just sort of, like nibbling at themselves. I'm guessing like maybe that's how they groom, I imagine. But that's what I do in lieu of the gym on some day. Like some days when I know I'm not gonna have enough time to get to the gym, like me and my nephew, we go to the pool. I just do a shitload of laps, and by the end of it, I'm as tired as though I had gone to the gym. But the problem is when I do that, the next day, like I'm really tired too. So I'm wondering if like maybe, you had did something intense and the fatigue carried over.
I guess. What did I do yesterday? Yesterday I ran in this heat.
Yeah.
I ran 4 miles in like this 90-degree weather, and I did it. I wasn't able to do my final sprint. But yeah, I did feel kind of after the rest of the day. I went to my parents' house, just sort of laid around, and then came back here. I went to bed at like midnight, woke up at 8:30, woke up this, finished the rest of the video. It's done.
Oh,
so,
all right. Song I'll send tomorrow.
All right. And then, but today, like, I was finished, and then I just sort of got up from the computer, went into the bedroom because that's where the air conditioner was, laid on the floor and just looked at my phone for an hour. And then got in Goldie, drove to the pavilion, swept up, cleaned up, and then, talked to some hikers. Drove to the rudders, filled up, turned my Lyft app on to see if someone wanted a ride, and no one, it didn't go bing. Drove to a Giant, which is a grocery store for you guys listening. Bought rice because the local grocery store doesn't carry jasmine rice in 5-pound bags anymore, or 5-pound or 1-pound bags. They just carry the little ones. And then drove back here, laid on the floor. Walked to my local grocery, bought a watermelon, frozen vegetables, something else. Came back here, finished editing the POV video, which is exporting right now over there. And now we're here. Tomorrow, I have nothing to do. And those days where I have nothing to do kind of makes me scared.
I mean, if I would suggest a riding day if I didn't have to take my car into the shop at noon, but
we can do that a different day.
Yeah, Friday I'm around.
I may turn my Lyft app on again. I don't feel like doing Allentown. I may drive down to Oaks, KOP. The worst thing that could happen is I could just go to Wegmans. I'm sure someone, like, if I go to Reading, I'm gonna be doing rides.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're shady, and sometimes I kind of know I'm doing a drug run.
Yeah. Doesn't really sit well with you.
And I got to pick up someone on one of those roads where it's just enough for one car to get by. And if I sit there, the thing that bothers me the most about Lyft is when someone isn't ready. I show up to a person's house and they're not there. There's no one around. There's nowhere for me to park.
Yeah.
So I gotta leave. I'm not gonna sit there with the blinky blink on, and which is the 4 ways, and block the intersection. I'm gonna keep moving.
Yeah. I mean,
the click number 1 says, "Is it worth driving for Lyft or other Uber-like apps when you have a car with high fuel consumption?" Not really, and my Forester doesn't do very well. The only way, say, if you were rocking like a Chevy 350 or a Vortex, sometimes they call them that, or LS, like Chevy Suburban. The only way that would work is that if you live in a city where you're just boom, 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 boom rides all the time, then you could probably get away with it. But if you have to go drive 15 minutes to go pick up someone to give them a $5 ride, that's not gonna. It's not gonna jive.
Yeah. I think it's strange that we live in an era that allows you to go with like the over-the-top service of not having to be endorsed by any kind of union. Because it's strange that anyone. It's almost like a lot of people don't really even need a car anymore because mass transit is easier than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah, except out here in the boonies.
Oh yeah, well yeah. It's always
you live in town.
Here.
Out here, like you don't have a car. You're, as George Carlin says, SOL and SWF. Shit out of luck and jolly well fucked. Or like you'd have to scrape together $600 for the $600 car.
Yeah.
Kind of works up here with no emissions regulations, and then you know a guy who can scrape and slap an inspection sticker on there, and then you're good to go. But anyway,
right now I kind of want to go on a Wegmans run, but they have a lot of really good pre-prepared meals.
Yeah, even their pizza's good.
Which is strange because normally, by all rights, it shouldn't be.
No. Grocery store, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Grocery store burgers and pizzas, but they do it. Someone says it's 100 degrees in Spokane, Washington. House sitting in a house with no AC. Miss mine. I bet you do.
I hope you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Because that's a nightmare. I mean, I'll take like a shower before I go to bed, and
oh yeah,
I feel a lot better, but that lasts for maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And then you're right back at it. Right back in your own, like you're stewing in your own juices.
I know, it's like crotch pot.
Yeah. And I try to, flip the sheets around and flip the pillow over to the dry side. And then it's just, you're spending the night flipping the pillow over and back and forth.
Someone can invent an air-conditioned pillow and air-conditioned bed in the same way they invented the air-conditioned car seat.
Ah.
Dude.
License to print money.
To have that ability for those long dead sleeps that I miss in autumn, when you get the window open, it's breezy, which means you can have a heavier blanket pressing down on you, and you sleep and you don't wake up. It's just gravestone slumber, graveyard slumber. And then you wake up and you feel amazing. That's the one thing I miss about our long winters, is that you generally sleep pretty well.
Yeah.
If you really can't sleep, then you open a window and you unzip a sleeping bag and lay under that.
I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of putting those, those little blue bricks for coolers, or that occasionally some mothers will put in the lunch. Well, my mom did put in my lunchbox as a kid to keep all my stuff from, whatever. Like, it just get a bunch of those and put yourself in a sleeping bag with them. But then you're just like laying in a thing of different moisture.
Wednesday night. I didn't have kickboxing tonight. I'll bet that would have woken me up.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, well, provided that you weren't the only person who showed up.
Yeah.
Again.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, around here, most selling a legit kickboxing class to people who really just want to do yoga or lose weight is tough. Especially by Dante, who wants to teach you legit things.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get the guys who, they want to learn, but they're squeamish about getting in a clinch with another man. I mean, when you did wrestling, were there a few guys like that on the team?
Well, no, because I was like 11. Well,
okay.
Yeah. It was 11 and 12. Oh, we're lagging. Whatever. It's
feed dropping out. The stream health says it's okay.
Yeah, it says it's okay. I
have this this computer isn't as hot as it normally is because I have this thing up on block, so air's getting at it. What's up, TK? Super chat. We'll start in a few minutes.
Yeah, once
we've gone for about a half an hour.
Yeah. Now. Okay. So, well, actually, no, that's not really a story, but it is kind of weird how. Because when I first started going on the diet and you said, like, hey, you should join the boxing class. And I was like, because the way you always describe the guy running it,
I like Dante.
He's great. I'm sure he's fantastic. Yeah. But he seems to me like that uncle that you have that wants to make sure you get the lesson, because he's always trying to teach you stuff because he has no faith in the job your father is doing. Like, like he doesn't trust your dad to raise you right. And so I'm the uncle what's gonna teach you stuff. And so it ends up kind of being like, all right, now we're going to, it's the uncle who teaches you to finish the fight.
It's not like that.
All right,
I mean, it's literally like the first half is like cardio and sit-ups and push-ups and stuff like that. Then you get to the bag. And then it's just bag work. And when you do Dutch drills, we're not hitting each other. We're just holding bags for each other.
Yeah. You're not going to, like, Brock Lesnar's camp where he's training for.
You can go Brock Lesnar on the heavy bag. Heavy bag doesn't hit back.
Yeah.
And I take my glasses off or put my contacts in. I mean, without my glasses, I'm just fighting blind.
Yeah.
You know, it's just everything's a blur, but I'm sweating like crazy.
Same here. Like, actually, I'm gonna leave my glasses off for the remaining few minutes of this.
I want to see what your vision is. Your vision is probably better than mine. Indeed, it is.
Oh, all right, cool. The glasses are crooked because they're always the frames are always crooked. I don't know why it keeps happening.
Are almost the same, but mine I'm a little bit stronger.
Oh wow, that is strong.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, these actually look kind of nice on me, which,
nice.
Yeah.
I got these.
They look nice on you too.
These are Zennies. They're online. Paid $50 for them.
I don't even remember what my frames are. I don't think there's enough room to actually write them on. And also, I think, because I've had these for 2 years, and I don't know, but they've been good to me for the most part. And
someone says try a clamp-on mini fan in the bedroom. Put that sucker on the bedpost. You'll find them cheap cheap in a few weeks after the dorm supplies at Walmart and Target go on clearance. Nice.
That's actually a pretty.
I want to get one. I should add it to my Amazon order. Just get one of those USB fans and put it in my power supply and just put it somewhere. I'm sure that thing with the power supply, it'll run all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend Mike, he, over the holidays, he came home for a visit and he had this slick new jacket on. I'm like, wow, that's a really cool jacket. He's like, yeah, it's a self-heating jacket. I'm like, what are you talking about? See this little button, and it was a logo, and when the logo was a light, it started heating the jacket. It's like, and it has a USB outlet. And I'm thinking, well, technology, I think it's going to be a few years before we find out what having that amount of technology that close to our bodies is going to do. But I don't think it's turning us into, giving us superpowers or anything.
Justin Kramer has one of those. Milwaukee makes it. His take on the self-heating jacket is you need to make sure you get it in your exact size, because if it's if it's the slightest bit too large, heat just sort of gets out.
Yeah.
It has to almost be like a vest or something that you would wear, like a windbreaker on top of it or something. Yeah. He said it worked-ish, but I got so much ski gear I don't really care.
Yeah.
I thought about it for the Falcon, driving it in the cooler weather because the heater doesn't work, which is weird that we drove that Belvedere, and that was an old car, and the heater was amazing in that thing. That was the last thing.
It was the best. It was the coldest RCR shooting day, and it was immensely comfortable. And not just because we were so desperate to be in a warm climate. Yeah. It's that thing was on point.
Yeah. So I don't know what I can do. Like, I can't put a larger heater core in the Falcon because it sits in that little box that's made just for it. But there's also no vents that blow it at you anymore because we had to take them out. I'm wondering if I can just unplug that, just yank the hose off of the defroster and just have it kind of dangling down out from under the thing. I can zip tie it, so maybe there'll be a hot air that could maybe just shoot in the general direction of like our feet.
Yeah.
And that'll work.
Yeah, because
you would lose your defroster. But the more that I think about it, I rarely need that thing. Because if it's any inclement weather, the car doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Remember when I first got Betty and you were like the only person who was on me about getting the rear defroster fixed because they sold it to me with a bum rear defroster, but he told me about it first. He was like, okay, the rear defroster kind of comes loose. You gotta, get like a super glue or whatever, get the replacement. And it's perfectly fixed, and I never use it. Like, I never need to. It's like completely unnecessary because, I don't know, it just doesn't really get all, moisture back there. But also, like you said, in the winter, I mean, if it's snowing out there, like, what are you going to do with a Mustang?
Right.
Even if you have the all seasons on it, it's like, where are you really going? And luckily, I live in a place where, I could walk to places if I need things. well, I mean, I live in a big city,
Yeah.
so there are any number of weird, shady places where I can go to get things, and I mean like legal things like food and groceries, but also they're in shady places where, you know, barred windows and all that wonderful mess.
Right.
But I don't know. It's weird. I know that like Reading is kind of a weird city that it's like it makes me, at times I think of it as kind of being like Gotham City, in that it has this historical, almost Art Deco architecture in places, but the architecture is kind of falling into disrepair. But you can still get some idea of what it used to look like.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it's also kind of like half the place looks like Crime Alley, where Thomas and Martha Wayne ate it.
Yeah, there was this whole thing on Cracked one time about how there's only really one or two alleys in modern New York City that look like what movies want New York City to look like. Like everything else is clean and modern. Yeah. It's like it doesn't look crappy. Yeah. I'm like, look, if you want a New York City street, come to Reading. Or come to like, not to knock Allentown, but that's like another thing. Like I want to go, I was thinking about, because Music Fest is going on right now in Bethlehem. Yeah. But I thought about not turning my Lyft app on until I passed the Lehigh Valley Airport. Yeah. Like, I kind of don't want to drive down into Allentown.
Stupid question. Lehigh Valley has an airport?
Indeed they do.
Okie dokie. What is this?
American Airlines, I don't think, flies out of there. Or if they do, yeah. Lehigh Valley has a little airport. You remember how Reading used to have an airport?
I mean, we still do. We still do have an airport. And Tony Airlines said, like, offered to take me out to go check out like the flight museum that's like over there.
Oh yeah, Mid-Atlantic Air Museum.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, but it's not really an airport because it can only take you like 2 or 3 places, kind of.
Yeah, there's no service. In that there's no commercial carriers that fly out of there anymore.
Oh, not anymore?
Not anymore.
Oh, all right.
It used to be today. Like up until the early 2000s, there was like Allegheny Commuter and US Air had like very limited service from like Reading to Philly to Lehigh Valley to Harrisburg and to Boston. Like that's as far as that place would go. Lehigh Valley, its airport code is ABE. You can fly from Lehigh Valley to Orlando. You can fly to New York. You can fly to LaGuardia, JFK, probably Boston, Charlotte. Maybe they do a run to Chicago. I don't know. It's really close to the Lehigh Valley Mall.
Huh.
And there's a little airport there. I've never been into it. I had one Lyft ride of a guy who wanted to go to the airport. I'm like, you know what? I've never been here. There is a place where if you want to wait with your Lyft car, they have something to do, a place where the Lyft drivers can sit and wait. And when you do that, your Lyft app changes when you're within the bounds of an airport, and it will then say you are number 6 in this queue. So when someone comes out and goes donk with their Lyft app, it will get whoever has been there the longest will get the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. Just out of curiosity, before this podcast started, I went, and there were like 6 people hanging out at Lehigh Valley Airport, which is, I don't know,
6 Lyft drivers?
6 Lyft drivers just hanging out. And Lehigh Valley Airport is like Harrisburg, but smaller. It's smaller than Harrisburg.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So I think if you're flying in and out, you parked your car, there's like a short-term parking and a long-term parking, and it's the same parking lot.
Yeah, what are the odds that the people getting off of those flights are not also driving themselves home?
Right.
Like,
well, the guy I picked up. But anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, others.
So that's my plan tomorrow, is to either, do I want to do Music Fest? Music Fest would probably be at Pukey McPukerton.
Well, it depends on when you go, unless it's I say that as if there isn't any like day drinking happening at Music Fest, but
Carrie told me that you can drink you can have open containers in Bethlehem during Music Fest. I don't. That's got to be dicey. Oh, Oh, hey, Tony Airlines is in the chat.
Tony Airlines. I took off my glasses specifically to not be distracted, and then now he's here. And
Tony says we had to divert once to ABE, trying to go to PHL, which means he was coming from JFK. Everyone was so mad. We ended up shuttling everybody in coach buses to Philly, and we ferried the plane back empty. So. Tony was flying from New York, from JFK to Philadelphia, and they had to divert and land in Allentown. So instead of flying from Allentown to Philly, it's like, look, we're here. The Northeast Extension's right fuck there. Here's some buses. We're going to bus you to Philly International. Yeah. It's like an hour and a half. It would be honestly the exact same time.
Yeah. But I don't know. The whole commercial flight thing is... something that I don't know that I'm used to.
Oh yeah, Tony. There you go. These are his glasses, and I can't open my eyes because his prescription is way stronger than. Whoa, his prescription is way stronger than mine.
May I?
But how are we gonna do this thing? Like, wow, you really can't see.
Oh wow, that's incredible. That's almost I have nothing to compare this to.
I think my buddy Tom, the prescription is similar to that. But, you save up your money and then you get the LASIK and then you're good to go. Speaking of good to go, I'm waking up, which is a good time to drink alcohol. So, I think we're going to wrap this bit up, come back with the super chat on. Sound good?
Yep, sounds fantastic. And then I'm going to go put this on Shout Engine / iTunes, other places, so you guys can take this on the road with you. So we will be back in 5-10 minutes.
Sounds got that. Yeah.
All right, rock and roll. Have it. Yep. Why am I saying have a good?
Have it your way.
Yeah. All right.
Rock over London. Rock on Chicago.
Yeah.
All state. You're in good hands. I'm Brian.
I'm Nick.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Happy birthday. Thanks. You too.
Enjoy the movie. Thanks. You too.
Yeah. Gotta put this in the computer.